Hello guys, and today we are here with Red Eminence, the Apocrypha banner. As you can see, it has Red, Kid Shadow, and Demon Clear. And on the cover and here in the probabilities, there are some other Red Elemental units. And luckily, there's no other permanent characters, just the featured characters here. Though, of course, because they did this, they put the summon rates back to regular, being 3%. And of course, there's individual probabilities here. The real guides most just the two units on the profile that are worth getting. The Shadow Beginning and the Demon Clear over here as well. Now, now this isn't the first video I made on this guy, but yeah, to put simply, his Chrono Burst. That thing is overpowered. As you can see here, it's too much to read. But simply put, every 10 seconds, deals fixed damage to all enemies. As you can see here, multiplied by each stack. Charity races grant 2 Chrono Bursts, that's 200,000 fixed damage. And of course, its Atomic here does a lot of other stuff like Earth defense, enemy defense, grants attack buffs, grants damage inflicted buffs, grants Chrono Burst, and of course, grants parry as well. Which is what he needs to grant is Chrono Burst. It's really overpowered, really. It's a hyper carry for a story. I mean, like Chronicles, Main Quest, Sanctuary, World 3. This guy is literally a hyper carry. As long as he survives, you can like win. This is skill 1, zero range, everyone explain. I feel like you have heard that one before, but yeah. Which it grants parry on himself again, inflicts 2 Chrono Burst, and 3 hit damage, further inflicts provoke and rage damage speed. Which is also crazy, he's doing so much. In granting himself all these buffs and damage and rage damage received for the enemy as well. And of course, when I wait, you get 4 Chrono Burst and extra parry stack. I have a skill 2 Ebony Veil. And this one, and when it's awakened, it's pretty overpowered. It grants him a defense buff, 2 Chrono Burst, shield damage of all allies, and then further attack speed and attack buffs. So yeah, you're literally getting everything. Except like parry, I guess. But yeah, you're getting Chrono Burst, shields damage, speed, and attack buffs. And then you can come by those with archetype damage for even more buffs, since this one grants a damage inflicted buff of all allies. Now for the Shadow again. Each time parry is used, he recovers his 1 HP and grants Chrono Burst on himself. Now when awaken, 2 Chrono Burst. And of course, his strike count grants parry, which helps him practice special ability. So he can do big PP damage with big Chrono Burst. I have his gear here, giving him even more Chrono Burst every 9 seconds. Like Chrono Burst procs every 10 seconds, so on the 9th second he gives himself parry and then 3 Chrono Burst. So of course right there is like fixed 300,000 damage combined with consuming parry from his strike combo and skills. Yeah, he can do a ton of fixed damage and it's pretty much a hyper carry. Definitely, I think that's worth getting. So of course, he's not the only character in this banner, so that's worth considering. But man, if he's on a solo rerunner, so he's definitely worth getting. He's just too good, really. Which I guess is expected of a shadow unit. But yeah, this man's just too good. No, literally can't say anything. There's literally nothing bad to say about this guy. So maybe his awakenings. Nah, all those are still good. I mean, except the A4 force, but all of his awakenings are also pretty good. It's crazy how good they made his unit. The Shadow Beginning. He's just too overpowered, man. Now I move over to D1 Clear, since really this guy here. Here's one good thing to say about that right each other. Which this clear is pretty helpful for this event because magic barrier, which grants you bleed rest. So of course, D1 rules the new boss works around that to give ourselves some buffs. But yeah, it pretty much gives you resistance to every status ailment in the game, except Charm, since Charm was added after that. But yeah, Charm and Corruption. Except outside of those two, you pretty much get resistance like every status ailment in the game. As you can see, I'm Paralyzed resist here, and Sleepers. No, Sleepers isn't here. Huh, but that's something. Oh yeah, Sleepers is here. So yeah, only status ailment you're not immune to are Charm and Corruption, which is pretty overpowered since most bosses will have any of the other ones. And not only that, you get a 20% within awaken of the 40% of attack. Attack buffer. I mean, note of this here, Sword of Resentment, has grants ongoing HP recovery, which is okay, I guess. Cancels debuffs, which is cool. And then the overpowered thing is Demon Power. As you can see for each stack, grants 50% damage to crit rate and speed. So that's pretty good. Oh yeah, Awakening, it doesn't really do much besides canceling more debuffs. That Awakening sucks. And this Awakening inflicts weakness and reads damage received for all enemies. So while the Awakening sucks, the skill is pretty good of course since weakness. Extra debuff in between. I have a special ability which is also pretty good. It's damage inflicted for all elemental allies. And gives a fixed 50% speed buff. It's also pretty good for all red units really. And then of course if you're a human, we get extra 15 or Awakening, 30% attack buff, so yeah. This red creature here gets all of those buffs from Divine Player, and of course some other red units like Shadow and Aurora. They also get the full buffs from this Divine Player's special ability. Your strike combo grants a 30% damage inflicted buff to all eyes for 10 seconds, which can be pretty good when you combine that with the Divine Power you get from here, and of course the attack buff you get from here. And then we have her gear as well, which grants her a healing boost buff. But we have all eyes, first increase damage and raise accuracy, so it can help counter units with high evasion like her tank counterpart. And that healing boost helps the overheal here because PSK ongoing HP recovery doesn't really do much unless you get like tons of HP back at once. And then here it says each time as HP is recovered by itself, it's crit attack of our eyes. So yeah, you're getting a ton of buffs really. It has to be by yourself, so you can expect by like the strike combo or her healing technique, you'll get that 15% crit attacker. I'm guessing it ends up just being if you can probably have this. Maybe you can stack this D1 power as well as this combo and her healing technique. Yeah, all that. And you'll be chilling, getting attack, crit attack, as damage inflicted, speed, and crit rate buffs. It's totally a lot really. Your awakenings are kinda whatever besides A3 and A5, as usual for most units. You have to be built different, like this ring. You have to have most of your awakenings good, or just awakenings that aren't A3 and A5 to be good. So if we're just those two units, this would be an easy summon, but since they're not the only ones, but then we gotta come to the probabilities. And yeah, this episode typical as of the white token units. So I mean Zeta is good, but most of the white token units do kinda like suck really. It's not even their fault. It's more like the charge mechanic was poorly implemented. This episode's alright for getting rid of crit rate. This Eta is good for multiple strike combo uses. Since when you use her chain technique, she recovers that. As this recurve strike combo gauge up to 2 times. It pretty much means that you can do multiple 5 combos, which can allow you to stack up the damage inflicted buff you get from this D1 player. But then again, both of them are red healers, so you can't really use them together. So more likely, you stack up the parry you get from this guy. And of course, if there's red DPS and stuff, you can stack up the buffs on it to like channel auras, or if so, it's a combo effect. Of course, there's these two idols. So that's just supposed to be your stuff, but I guess you can maybe use yours if you have no other, because it's a PvP unit. Yeah, realistically, I mean, if you have the gems, I guess it won't hurt to do a few summons. Me personally, I think I'm good. I'll just save my gems. But yeah, the best units on here are really good, and then the others are just kind of whatever, really. Maybe just good for PvP or just niche. Though yeah, not much to say here besides that. Definitely, it's definitely great that the humans, well, most of the SF humans are the best units here. Not even the event ones, and not even this SF Ipsy. That's pretty much about it for this video, guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Later.